how do I shift my thinking more that when I get on the cushion and do this is sort of cultivating the mind that I'm doing it for everyone.
We can't really fake ourselves out. If we want to be Mother Teresa, we want to be the Dalai Lama, we want to be this kind of totally altruistic person, but the bottom line is we often show up because we're suffering, we have our own existential question, etc. But what's so interesting is there's a lot of different ways to get into a room. You can come in through one door, another door, you can climb in the window, can smash down a wall. And where'd you go? Oh, there you are.
Oh yeah.
You can smash down a wall, but you can get in there. And so let's say you come to the Dharma because you have this strong, I want something. Most of us do. I want enlightenment. I want to find out my true self. I don't want to be afraid of death. Somebody I know is suffering, I want to help them, this kind of thing. But what happens is as we start to practice, this I becomes hard to pin down, right? I just was saying how when you're sitting there, something comes and something goes, good experience, bad experience, happy, sad, and then as it's coming and going, we start to realize, hey, you know what? That isn't me. There's no me in there. There's no David in there. So all things are created by the mind alone is another thing the Buddha said. So we start to actually experience that. And as we experience that, we could begin to experience like this common ground with all beings, not just human beings, but the animals and the earth and the wind and the insects and everything. So if you just have this faith of showing up, eventually this illusion that we're holding on to starts to fade. It starts to get chipped away at by the showing up. And pretty soon you start to say, well, is that me? Is there an I in there? Everything is changing. Everything is always changing. And, when I was a young girl, we had the cell and the atom, right? And you had the protons, the neutrons, and electrons. And, I was taught that was the smallest subset of, that was a fixed thing. And that was the smallest thing there is. And now there's these things that have weird names. I don't even know how to pronounce them, but basically they're the parts of quarks and whatever, right? So the physicists have figured out that, finally by science, they see everything is shimmering, everything is moving, everything is changing. There is no one thing that stays the same, nowhere. And so therefore, obviously, if you have this I, this construct of this I, it can't be. That's a fixed concept. So we start to experience that, and we start to taste some of the shimmering and changing and moving on this atomic level, moment to moment to moment. And that's how that I gets worn down. And pretty soon that for me mind becomes for you mind all by itself. I don't think we can fake ourselves out. I tried it. I've tried it many times. And, I wanted to be like, I had this like holy saint karma. I went to Catholic school growing up. I always wanted to be the goody two shoes. I wanted to have the straight A's like Eli, right? I wanted all those things. And so sometimes that wanting is like this self-righteousness can appear. This holier than thou thing can come up. And boy, that has a bad smell. Nobody buys into that, So if you're trying to, walk around like you're a saint, but your real motivation for practicing is because you just want to stop suffering, well, just keep going with it and it'll appear. But I do want to caution people. I think now there's like this commoditization of Zen. There's this whole like Zen as coaching or Zen as improvement or Zen as sleep better or Zen as lose weight or, Zen as, get a raise. Like those are good byproducts, and certainly, good things to have, and they're better than their opposites. They're better than doing the other stuff that takes you in a less healthy direction. But that's not Zen. Zen means, what am I? Don't know. Zen is like, what is this? What is the purpose of my life? When I die, where do I go? Or when someone else is born, where did they come from? That's the kind of question we're getting at, is what am I, or what is this? And that's a different kind of approach than a self-improvement approach. So it's okay to come in the door you come in, but just keep your eyes and ears open to, knowing that there's this direction to it. That's really important.